Okay, this video is to help you with the IXL lesson, solve a quadratic equation by factoring. Okay, we're going to solve a quadratic equation by factoring by using these 4 steps. Okay, we're going to make sure we have 0 on one side of the equation. Okay, and if we don't, maybe we have to add or subtract something to make that happen. Okay, then we're going to completely factor the other side. Okay, remember when we factor, we always look for a greatest common factor first, and then we go from there. Okay, the third thing, we're going to set each factor equal to 0. Okay, and that's going to give us some equations. We're going to set each factor equal to 0, and then we're going to solve each of those individual equations. Okay, and that's going to give us all of the solutions to the equation. Okay, let's do some examples. Okay, we're going to solve x to the third plus 7x squared equals negative 10x. Okay, what we're trying to do, we're going to try to find all the x values that will make this equation true. Okay, and the way we're going to do it, we first need to get 0 on one side, okay, because we don't have 0 on one side. Let's get rid of the subtracted 10x. Okay, let's add 10x to both sides. Okay, when we do that, we're going to have x to the third plus 7x squared plus 10x equals 0. Okay, notice I couldn't combine anything together on the left-hand side. None of these were like terms, but because to be a like term, you have to have the same variable and the same exponent. Okay, so this is our new equation. Okay, we have 0 on one side. Now we need to completely factor the other. Okay, when we look at the left-hand side, we first want to look for a greatest common factor. Okay, there is no number because 1, 7, and 10. I mean, the only thing that will divide into 1, 7, and 10 is 1, and that's not helpful. Okay, but look at the variables, x. We have an x on each piece. We have an x on each part. So we need to take the smallest of those x's. So x to the first. Okay, so the greatest common factor is x. So I'm going to factor out an x. So I'm basically taking all 3 divided by x. X to the third divided by x to the first is x to the second. Okay, 7x to the second divided by x. Okay, the 7 still stays. Okay, x to the second divided by x to the first is x to the first. Okay, this last part, we have 10. Okay, 10 doesn't change. It's not divided by a number. 10. X divided by x goes away. Okay, so all we're left with is a positive 10. So now we have, after we took out our greatest common factor, we have x times x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals 0. Okay, we still need to keep factoring. Okay, because we still have x squared plus 7x plus 10. Okay, this is an easier trinomial. See how there's no number in front of x squared? Maybe we can do this in our head. 2 numbers that multiply together to give me 10, that add together to give me 7. Okay, well, the first thing I thought of, numbers that multiply together to give me 10, even though 10 and 1 would work. 5 and 2 work, and 5 plus 2 does equal 7. Okay, so 5 and 2 are the 2 numbers that'll help us factor that down some more. So we still have the x. Okay, don't forget that x. And then the trinomial that's left would be x plus 5, x plus 2. Okay, so the left side is factored down. Okay, the right side is 0. Okay, now the last thing we do is we set each of these 3 factors equal to 0 and solve them. Okay, so we're going to set x equal to 0, x plus 5 equal to 0, x plus 2 equal to 0. We're going to solve each equation. Okay, we're going to solve them for x. Okay, x equals 0. You know what? That's already solved because x is already alone. So x equals 0 is one answer that works. Okay, subtract 5 from each side for the second equation. Okay, another solution to this equation is x equals negative 5. Okay, solving x plus 2 equals 0. We're going to subtract 2 from each side. We get a third solution. Okay, x equals negative 2. There's 3 solutions to this problem. If I put 0 in for all of my x's, I will get a true statement. If I put negative 5 in for all 3 x's, I promise, true statement. Same with negative 2. Okay, we get 3 solutions to that one. Okay, another one. Solve 2x to the second minus 50 equals 0. Okay, first thing, make sure there's 0 on one side. Okay, and there is. Okay, next thing, factor the other side completely. When you factor, look for a greatest common factor first. Okay, there is a greatest common factor of 2. So I can factor out a 2. 2 divided by 2 goes away. Well, I mean, it's 1. 50 divided by 2 is 25. So I have 2 times x squared minus 25 equals 0. Okay, continue factoring. Okay, I have a binomial right there. So I'm going to try to make it fit. Something squared minus something squared. Okay, x, sloppy there, x squared and 5 squared. Okay, so that works. X squared minus 5 squared is the same thing. So that x squared minus 5 squared ends up factoring to x minus 5, x plus 5. Okay, so my completely factored equation, 2 times x minus 5 times x plus 5 equals 0. Okay, so once I have 0 on one side, the other side factored, set all of your factors equal to 0. So 2 is equal to 0, x minus 5 equals to 0, and x plus 5 equals 0. Solve all 3 for x. Okay, look at this first thing that we have here. 2 equals 0. Notice there's no x there, right? Okay, that doesn't give us anything. If there's no x there, we're not getting an answer for that part. Okay, but x minus 5 equals 0. Add 5 to both sides. X equals 5 is one solution. The other equation, subtract 5 from each side. X equals negative 5 is another solution. So we get 2 answers on that, 5 and negative 5. Okay, last problem. Let's see. Solve 7b to the third plus 9b to the second plus 2b is equal to 0. Okay, make sure we have 0 on one side first. Okay, we do. Okay, so now we need to factor the other side. Okay, greatest common factor first. Okay, I'm looking at my numbers here. 7, 9, 2. Okay, I can't think of anything other than 1 that will divide into 7 and 9 and 2. Okay, but look for variables. I see a common b. Okay, since b is common to all 3, I need to take the smallest b, which is b to the first, and I need to factor that b out. So I'm going to divide all 3 pieces by b. So 7b to the third divided by b is 7b to the second. Okay, 9b to the second divided by b is just 9b. 2b divided by b is just 2. Okay, so I've factored out the greatest common factor. Okay, now I need to factor down some more. These aren't the fun ones. okay, because I have a number in front of my squared term, so I got to work a little harder, but we can do it. Okay, 7b squared. I'm going to try 7 times 1 is 7. And for a positive 2 over here, I'm going to try a positive 2 and a positive 1, multiply to give me 2. I think I may have been really lucky and got this right away. Let's see. Okay, take 7 times 1 is 7. Take 2 times 1, which is 2. If I add those up, I do get the middle term. Well, the number in front of the middle term, the 9, the positive 9. I did it. I did it. Okay, we were lucky. Okay, so keep the b. This trinomial is going to turn into a 7b plus 2 and a 1b plus 1. Okay, think straight across there, guys. You have a 7 and a 2 and a 1 and a 1. So that's 7b plus 2 for the top row. And that's 1b plus 1 for the bottom row. Okay, I'm getting there. So we have the left completely factored down. We have 0 on the other side. Okay, now we set all 3 factors equal to 0. We set b equal to 0, 7b plus 2 equal to 0, b plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, b equals 0 is already solved for us. So 0 is one solution. Okay, 7b plus 2 equal to 0. This is a two-step equation. Subtract 2 from each side. Leaves us with 7b is equal to negative 2. Divide by 7. Okay, we get negative 2/7 is a second solution. And then when we solve b plus 1 is equal to 0, subtract 1 from each side. Negative 1 is the third solution. Okay, so we get 0, negative 2/7, and negative 1. Okay, guys, you're doing, this is Algebra 1 stuff. Okay, you are working way, way ahead of what we're doing in class. So just think of this as a fun challenge. Let me know if I can help you. Okay, you're doing good work. Keep me posted.